Now let's try to understand the concept of unigram, bigram, and n-gram through these two sentences, through these reviews. So the first review is telling us that this pasta is very tasty and affordable, and second one is tell that this pasta is not tasty and it's affordable. So if you remove the stop words from these two sentences, that is the stop word here, this, each, very, and like that, this, each, not, and is. So if you remove these stop words from the text pre-processing stage, then the rest of the word are the same. Just see it: pasta, tasty, affordable. But the problem is the meaning of these sentences. These two reviews are not same, because this pasta is very tasty and affordable. Here, this pasta is not tasty and affordable. This is the two opposite meaning of these two sentences. So what is the resolutions? What is the solve of this? So the problem that is, problem that we faced by the simple removing the stop words. Removing the stop words. That's the problem. So to removing the after removing the stop words, the review 1 and review 2 are exactly same. Are the exactly same. Okay. So that means what? That means R1 and R2. That means what? That means R1 and R2 the same word, or same word, but these are the different. Same word, but this is actually not. These are the problems. Okay. So let's solve this issue. So the solutions will be look like this type of. So here pasta, each very tasty and affordable. So here we have considered the as a single word as a single dimensions. Okay, this is for responsible for one dimension. Pasta is responsible for one dimension. Here is responsible for one dimension. So instead of using this single word, here we will use this pair of consecutive words. This pasta is pair of consecutive words, each responsible for one dimension. Here is very, here is very tasty, and like that, and affordables, like that of consecutive word we will use here to express this reviews as a vector. Okay, now let. So here the unigram is that unigram means that we will consider each word as a single dimension, as a dimension. Here we will consider each word is a each considered, each word considered as a dimension. Okay, here. So the vector will be look like this here. This type of this. Here it will be each. Here it will be this each pasta, like that, like this kind of this each pasta. Here somewhere here it will be very, like that, somewhere it will be affordable, like that. These are the each cell is responsible for each word is considered as a single dimension. So this is actually called the unigram. These things are called the unigram. Okay, so the bigram it will be. So bigram will be look like this. So here instead of considered is each word as a single dimension, here we will consider the pair of words is considered as a single dimension, as a dimension. Here instead of using the age word, here we will use pair of words each considered as a dimension. That's the thing. So here the structure will be look like this type. So first dimensional will be responsible for what will be this pasta. The second dimensional will be responsible for what? Pasta each. Third dimensional will be what? Each vary. Will look like this type. At the end it will be what? And affordable. Like that. So just if you see it, the pair of consecutive, if you consider that things as a pair of consecutive words, so there have not, we have taken the in some informations that's carried out by the pair of words, like here is not tasty. These are the not tasty is the totally different meaning from the tasty. So this kind of informations will help us to detect here, to remove the to understand this meaning about these two sentences. In if you consider here R1, then we got very tasty. If we consider the bigram, here we will got that it is a very tasty. If you consider bigram for R2, we will got it is a not tasty kind of dimension. So very tasty and not tasty, it is the two different sense of meaning. So these bigrams also helps us to get the information that's carried out with the pair of words. Okay, these are the bigrams concept. Okay, and somewhere here we will got not tasty. Here somewhere here we will got not tasty for the review 2, means I'm talking about review 2. This pasta is, this pasta is. Okay, means if you consider these things as a review 2. Okay, I think you got the idea, understand what is the bigram. Now the same things also for trigram. Trigram means if you take these three consecutive words, if they have some have some informations about the three consecutive words. Okay, so these things, this information is helps us. So the trigram will be the three consecutive words. Three consecutive words. Okay, that's help us to get the more informations from the bigrams. Three consecutive, if you can. So the for the generally we call these things generally. If we take single consecutive, then we will call the unigram. If we take two consecutive, bigrams, trigrams, three consecutive. So general process we call these things as a n-gram. In general process we call these things as a n-gram. If n is equals to 1, then we call these things as a unigram. If n is equals to 2, then we call these things as a bigram. If n is equals to 3, then we call these things as a trigram. Okay, these are the thing. So like that. Okay, but the unigram here, discard here this unigram discard the sequence of information. So if we consider unigram, it's discard sequence of informations. But here if you consider bigram, trigram, like that, it's written the sum sequence information. It's written, we have seen it. Retains of sequence of informations. Okay, that's the thing. But there have some problem. Let's see it. So if you consider, suppose let in our dictionary there have the size of the dictionary. Let the size of the dictionary is n. So if you, this is the size of our dictionary. If you consider the unigram, then how much word there have in unigram? How much in unigram, if you consider unigram, so total n in our dictionary n unique words, so the size of the h vector will be n. Size of the unigram is n. But if you consider the bigram, then size will be what? 2 to the power n. Means we have to consider the pair of, sorry, n square it will be. Pair of consecutive words we have to consider. Pair of consecutive words. Like such kind of pair of consecutive words we have to. Means I think how much it is possible here. This pasta is like that. Means it's greater than n, simply. It must be, the size must be greater than n. Okay. Similarly for trigram, if we consider the trigram, the its size must be greater than the size of the bigram. It increase exponentially. It's increase exponentially and so on. So this is the main problem. The main problem is the number of unigrams is less than is equals to numbers of words in bigram less than equals to number of words in trigram less than, like that. As we increase our n, so its size is increases dramatically. So we can conclude that. So here we can conclude that if we increase the size of the n, then the size of the n-gram tends to increase exponentially, infinitive. So it's increase exponentially. Increase exponentially. Just try to think as an exercise in your own. If you consider these unigrams for age review, then how much word you will got here. If you take this R1 as a bigrams, then how much distinct word you will got. If you take 3 words consecutively, how much? Now let's try to think yourselves as an exercise. Okay, so this is the main problem. This is the drawback. This is the main drawback of it. These are the drawbacks. Okay. Now in the next video we will see the development of the TF-IDF, how to remove this thing, how to remove the problems that we have faced in the back of word technique. It is the simplest one. Okay, it is the back of word is the most simplest one among all of them. So there have also some development in TF-IDF, there have some development in word to bake. We will see this thing as time progressed. So, but I think from these discussions you will got the understands what is the importance of this bigram, n-grams, and why actually these things as needed to convert it our text to vector and what is its main drawback. Okay, I think you will understand it. So in next video we will see how to develop the df techniques to convert this text to a vector and what is its advantage from the backup order.